In high school, I went vegetarian and found it really, really difficult in St. Paul, Minnesota. It felt like there were kind of a couple main options. There were the subtractive vegetarian foods that you would get that order a meat dish at a restaurant and they just take out the meat. On the other hand, there were the substitutive options like veggie burgers instead of meat burgers. And I just wasn't really satisfied by that. It just so happened that summer I had the opportunity to do a language exchange to China and got to stay with a local family in the city of Tianjin. And the food there was incredibly plant forward. And I would say that the breakfast in the city was maybe 50% plant-based. So from that day on was excited about helping other people in the States experience these amazing, delicious plant-based options. And so kept going back to China to learn Mandarin, eventually worked in some small Buddhist restaurants and studied under a 60-year-old Buddhist monk chef, and wanted to go really hard into the culinary side. But after a few years of going back and forth during college, I realized that to translate a whole cuisine to another culture is really difficult. One person who I really admire in the chef world, culinary world, is Hannah Che. She's an Instagram influencer who recently wrote a cookbook called The Vegan Chinese Kitchen. Her story was she was originally interested in food and went plant-based and wanted to connect with her culture on a deeper level after mostly growing up in the US. And so flew back to China and actually enrolled in culinary school there, where she trained for half a year and then moved to Taiwan to train in restaurants. And since then has just kind of taken that journey to restaurants in the US and into fine dining, and has really expanded. And I think if you want to get into the culinary side of these topics that aren't talked about widely in the US, I think your best bet is to go to the source and learn from the masters who have been doing this. A lot of people find, if they're not used to tofu, that it has less flavor than other proteins. And in some ways that's just true to tofu itself, but in other ways it's really a thing about American tofu in particular. In China, you'll find tofu sold at almost all local farmers markets, and it's made that day or the day before. And so you're getting product that's extremely fresh, that's made in small batches using traditional methods to heat the soy milk, like wood fire or coal fire. And you're not pasteurizing the shit out of your tofu. So to begin with, you have this product that just tastes a lot more interesting. You can find out more information, again, online, on our website, and you can purchase most of them from any medium-sized city in the US on this online grocery store called saywee.com. SAYWEEE.com.